Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the local bourse. It did seem throughout the session that as much as markets tried to hold on to the gains that we had seen being continued from last week Friday, they were kind of trading in flat territory, but we have seen the JSE, although it had reversed some of the gains that we saw yesterday, eking out gains there with the all-share up by 0.1%. We are seeing the financial 15 there leading those gains, climbing almost 0.75%. A slight increase in the industrial 25 with an uptick there of 0.05%. The resources 10 complex though backing that overall trend. Of course, we have seen a divergence in those resources with the gold stocks under pressure, but we have seen the PGMs kind of trading flat, but slightly in the green and being led by Northern Platinum. As I said, backing that overall trend, there were the decline of almost 0.6%. Let's take a look at what is happening stateside and over there. Markets also shifting their focus to company earnings that are still coming in hot over there. We did have Disney's shares actually slumping, even though the company did beat on the bottom line and met expectations on revenue. A sea of green over there with the S&P 500 up more than 0.25%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq with a gain of almost 0.1%, and the Dow there up by almost a similar margin. Let's take a look at what is happening with markets across the Atlantic, and over there investors also digesting some earnings. Also saw a British oil giant BP's earnings surprising to the downside as it grappled with lower gas and oil prices. And also Swiss Bank, UBS, actually came out with a good update there, returning to profitability. Of course, after the takeover of Credit Suisse, and we did see its shares climbing on that front. We also did see Ferrari's shares slumping as it saw pressure in the Chinese market. A sea of green over there, FTSE 100 up almost 1.5%. The CAC 40 with a gain just shy of 1%, and the DAX climbing almost 1.5%. Let's take a look at what is happening with the currencies, starting off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Relatively flat against the US dollar at 18 rand 45, against the pound at 23 rand 14, and against the euro at 19 rand 88. Let's take a look at how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.07, pound dollar at 1.25, and the yen just above 154 against the US dollar.